Today is D-Day as service chiefs are meeting with the Senate. So we now cross over live to Abuja, where the Senate has raised concern over the spike of insecurity and other violent crimes across the country and have invited all security chiefs and other relevant authorities to brief it on efforts in place to guarantee the safety of lives and property. We cross live now to Abuja and speak to Arise correspondent Omar Bazoye for an update. Good afternoon, Omar. Please give us an update. We understand that it's currently a closed-door meeting happening there.
Yes, you're absolutely correct. The closed-door session is on. If you remember very well, this meeting was supposed to have held sometime last week, but it has to be postponed till today because, according to the Senate at that time, that they wanted a full house of the service chiefs and also some ministers who were directly supervising some of these security agencies. So that was why it was postponed. It was actually a follow-up of a particular sermon, someone that was given to the service chiefs way back in December before the National Assembly went on a holiday. That was shortly after that Christmas Eve attack in Plateau State, precisely speaking, in Bakin-Ladi and Magu, where we saw about 200 people killed in just one particular day. That was very furious for the Nigerian Senate, and in response to that, in addition to several other kind of petitions, and at least about 6 of such petitions from across different parts of the state have been reaching or have gotten to the ears of the Nigerian Senate. It's either a case of banditry, kidnapping, at some point, even down to the Federal Capital Territory here in Abuja, where, Senate, as at its last sitting, admitted that it believes that the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, is in itself under threat. And then to resolve all of these issues of kidnapping, spike of insecurity all around, in between, we saw what happened in Ekiti State, where 2 monarchs were also killed. So with all of these kind of issues and, the distress that is coming with, apart from the fact that it is beginning to affect, the economic life of the average Nigerian people, it is telling on the cost of food and commodity prices across the country. Senate is very really worried and bothered, and so they have finally met with the service chiefs. Present here is the Chief of Army Staff. We have the Chief of Defense Staff. Very one of them, including Nigeria's Secret Police Service, talking about the DSS, they are all here. And in addition, the Minister of Finance, the Coordinating Minister of the Economy, so that if he is present, talking about Wale Edu, so that if in case there are any issues around, funding or maybe, issues of welfare that they might need to talk about. So everyone is actually present. I also saw, just before we were asked to vacate the gallery where all of us were waiting before they went on the plenary, the Minister of Interior Affairs, every one of them who has one thing or the other to do with Nigeria's security issues, are all present. And the major thing that the Senate is trying to find out is why does it seem like there's no synergy, some kind of cooperation, between, speaking about maybe military intelligence sharing between all of these various agencies.
Well said, Omar. Thank you for confirming that all the service chiefs were present. We also understand that the Senate President has spoken. Is that something he addressed, the lack of, cohesion that you mentioned, or can you tell us more about what he said?
Yes, the Senate President, just when he was welcoming in the service chiefs and all the guests into the chamber, he briefly spoke about the need for the country to tackle this issue of insecurity headlong and finding a lasting solution to it once and for all. Even before now, he has always been talking about, these issues, but a major, like I said earlier, has been whether or not there has been enough synergy and cooperation, exchange of ideas, information between the various agencies that are involved, that are supposed to be, helping Nigeria to manage its security. So locked in there, if I just quickly can move a little bit away. You could see the door, like that. So right inside that particular, that's the Senate chamber, that meeting is currently going on. They are brainstorming, trying to find out what can be done to the issues of insurgency in the northeast of Nigeria. How do we address the problem of kidnapping in the southeast of the country? And then how else do we talk about the issues of kidnapping that seem to have gone on rampage, in the Federal Capital, territory. The impact is everywhere and it's telling, and I'm sure affecting, because really, you want to think about it. There is no way government policies can actually flourish in the middle of all of these insecurity that we are currently faced with.
Thanks so much for that, Omar. Now, I remember when the NAS resumed, when they came back from their recess, security became a very emotional conversation. I remember the House of Reps lawmaker Akin Rotimi even broke down in tears. What's the mood there at the moment, especially from the lawmakers? I can imagine apprehension and emotions must be high.
Well, that was a very emotional one. You are referring to, I think, the House of Rep member representing somewhere in Ekiti State. He broke down there completely, when he was trying to announce to his colleagues about the death of 2 monarchs in that particular seat. I'm not so sure if the emotions won't be higher this time around in the red chambers. Like I said earlier, about six petitions, or if you like, motions that I'm aware of are currently before the Nigerian Senate. There was an attack recently also in Agatuland in Benue State. That's before fresh attacks in Barkin Ladi, in the Mangu area of Plateau State. And you can just go on and on. And so I'm not so very sure if, right inside there now, it's going to be very stormy affair between, I expect that to happen, between the lawmakers and then the security operatives. But it shouldn't be too much of emotions anyway. We need to really, they need to really settle down and then try and figure out what exactly has been the problem and how exactly can all of these issues can be resolved once and for all.
Rice correspondent Omar Bazaye, we'd like to thank you for that update. We're sure that you notify us of the latest as soon as this meeting concludes. Thank you so much.